biggest. It was one of the biggest company in Ghana that sells building materials for people. So I was like, okay, fine. I decided to go inside and see if I'll be able to actually work there. And yes, I did. I started with my work there. The first day I got there, it was Monday. When I got there, there were a lot of customers there. I was like, wow. The customers, most of them were angry because they're saying that there is a system there that because of the system, they are not able to, go early, their time, they are delaying them. So I was like, what is happening? Let me go check it out. Bear in mind, I was a newbie. I wasn't even selected to work there. But because of the way the customers was doing, I was like, no, somebody needs to help them. So I went there. I was like, okay, what's the problem here? All I did was to check the machines, the systems there, and I realized something was turned off and I turn it on. Now they have a machine, a printing machine in their other room printing. It was like, oh wow, are you working here? Are you coming to work here? That company never hired ladies. So the customers there were very, very surprised. Now, when I got there, I was like, okay, this is my permanent job, and nobody's going to take this job away from me. But I was lying. I worked there for a year and a half. That means I stopped working 2023, 31st December 2023. I left the work due to my health problems. I thought everything was going on fine. I didn't need anything, but I was dying gradually. I had a whole lot of tests. Doctors were saying you had brain issues, you had brain tumor, a whole lot of things. Some were saying it's just a migraine. But I realized I needed to go home to take care of my health. When I was leaving, I was very sad because I know per my condition, I cannot work in any moment from now. So I had to go there, sit at home to take care of myself. But here is the question. Who is going to help me to do that? Who is really going to help me to do that? Because like I said, the where I'm coming from, stability is not guaranteed. And it's really, really difficult for you to get somebody to help you. I did mention before I was leaving that community, I saved the admin's number. I used to see this admin all over the social media platforms talking about digital skills, digital skills. But seriously, because the mindset that I was having at that time was fast money, I never stood a chance to listen to whatever that she says because that is not my mindset. So I scroll past her post anytime I come across her on social media platform. But when I stopped my work and went home to sit there to take care of myself, things were very difficult and I needed a big support. So that day, I was there, I saw her post on my feed. Something tells me, no, Nora, you have to wait. Listen to whatever that she's saying, she wants to say. And guess what? She was so happy that time. She was shouting to her audience that I've gotten the job, I've gotten a client, guys, come in. Like she was so happy. I was like, what is actually going on here? Am I really going to make money if I get myself into this digital skills? So I was like, okay, that was my first time I sent someone a personal DM to tell her that I want to be like her. So she asked me, Nora, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be like you. I want to be confident like you. I want to be visible out there. So she was like, okay, fine. Then I will introduce you to a platform. So when you get there, you will learn how to be confident and how to be visible. At that time, I never knew it was virtual assistant. So I decided to go to the platform to check what actually is there. When I got there, I saw that, oh, I have to make a payment before I'll be able to learn this course. I was saying in my mind that no, I said I needed fast money. Actually, when I said I wanted to be confident like you, actually was fast money. I didn't want to learn. I'm not ready for that. But something keeps telling me to go on and register for the course, see what's inside it. So I moved ahead and enrolled into virtual assistant course. I had no idea what that thing is. I had no idea what it was that time. All I knew was, well, let me learn some. Let me see if I'll get my first money inside it. If I don't get inside, I'll just leave it and go. So how I became my virtual assistant started from this place. Now I enrolled into the course and I started learning. When I was learning there, it was very difficult for me because at that time I was using a phone, a very cracked and ink phone. It was a 6S phone. I think everybody here knows 6S phone, right? That small tiny phone. That was what I used to start my virtual assistant course. It was very hard because anytime I try to, study, submit my assignments, it messes up. Sometimes I'll be there and I'll cry all day. And when I was learning, the platform already has a community, a very big community that has over 1,000+ people. Inside this community, you will see a lot of people every single day. They will be talking, telling you what they are learning. Some say I've gotten a job, some say I've gotten a client. And it annoys me sometimes because here, this is me having nothing with just a 6S cracked phone, and these people will be all over the community talking. I did this, I did that. It angers me always because, like I said, the mindset at the beginning was still there. So I was finding it very difficult to engage with them. Now it got to a time in the community, in the platform that there was assignments. And that assignment, you have to pair with somebody. I was like, oh no, this is not for me. I don't want to pair with anybody. Actually, what I'm doing, I didn't even wanted to do because I wanted fast money. And here am I learning a course, not even knowing whether it's going to land me a job or not. I was in it. So I wasn't really okay with it, but yet I had no choice and I had to do that. So fine, people created mini community inside the main platforms. So I was there. I found myself in a community, in a mini community where I would get my per person so I could do my assignments and submit. Now, guess what I found inside that mini community? The moment I got there, they say, hi, Nora, you are welcome. This place, we make fun, we laugh, we chat, but we are serious. Like, oh, what group is this actually? What group am I inside? The mindset still at the beginning was there. So, like I said, I didn't want to even hear anything about the mini group, what they are doing. All I wanted was to get a partner and leave the girl. But at the end of the day, I met two people inside this group, and they are here with me right now, Ruth and Felix. These two people really, really helped me. I remember when I got inside, they told me to do an introduction, but I was really scared. Ask me why. Why will you be scared if you are in a group and they say, introduce yourself? Before my introduction, I scroll up and check how both of them or those people in the mini group introduced themselves. I got to realize, oh my goodness, all of these people attended university. How can I introduce myself? Because I didn't get the chance to be in the university, and it was really hard for me because most people do underestimate those who are not graduate, those who think these people they don't have a PhD, they don't have a degree. So it was really hard for me. But guess what? These people really helped me out. They told me, Nora, you don't have to underestimate yourself. Do you know what people are doing? Lots of people out there didn't go to the university, but you know what they are doing? They are making it. They are helping people out there. So you do not have to underestimate yourself. I was like, fine. That thing that they said motivated me a lot. Now, the mindset that I was having at the beginning of my life, as everything is fast money changed that time. I started to help people in the main big platform. Now, it will be a time that, now there will be a time they will say, Nora, somebody needs help here. Can you help the person? I'll go check the person and I'll be like, oh, okay, fine. I will help that person out. If it's assignments, I will guide that person to do the assignments. Gradually, I created my own community. And I was like, is this me? I created my own community, and inside the community, sometimes I'll be there and I'll be crying because the people inside the community are people with their PhD, their masters. I met soldiers, I met doctors. I was like, wow, is this really happening? Some people used to say dream comes true. This was never a dream I ever had, but it's coming. I was so surprised. So Brute and Felix really did help me out. Now the course went over. I was like, what am I going to do again? Even though I was really helping people, I was finding it difficult to help myself. Yes, things were hard for me. So after the course, I went back to Mary and tell Mary that this is so hard and there are certain things it seems like I don't really understand. So she should guide me. She said, okay, fine, I will guide you. So Mary had her first academy, and I joined her academy as well. I got mentored, and that is how, or that is where I got my clarity about VA. After completing her course, I became her brand ambassador for her academy. Other academies noticed my work, and I became brand ambassadors for them as well. I never, ever had a dream that a time will be coming that that mindset about fast money or yes, fast money will be out from my life. I chose growth. I chose skills. I chose confidence. That was something that I will never forget about it. After the course, after me being the brand ambassadors for her, I met a whole lot of people. Some are coming to me for guidance. Some are coming to me for clarity. I met big founders. I met small founders. I met startup businesses. It was so amazing. How I started my VA wasn't smooth. It was really hard for me. I see people out there and they will be like, I wanted to learn the VA, but I don't have a laptop. Only thing I have is a phone. I started with a card in phone. Even at that time, I was having a mindset that I needed fast money. There wasn't any mindset like learning and growth, but I was still using that phone. It wasn't easy. The path wasn't easy. I won't lie to you. I'm being honest with my story. Those who know me from the beginning, Ruth and Felix will tell you the path wasn't easy for me. When people see me out there, they think everything is okay for me. They think I've figured everything out. But I tell you, I haven't figured everything out. But because I chose confidence, I chose to be visible, I chose to be consistent, I chose growth and skills. So anytime you see me out there, you'll be like, oh, this girl has figured everything out. This girl knows what she's doing. I started from nowhere. It was very hard, I won't lie to you. I found out that I have chosen clarity. As I'm talking to you now, I have a community that I've named it Unmuted Voices because some time ago, Norah was muted. She was lost. The mindset she was having was totally not good. And I know some people out there are having the same mindset that I was having. Some people out there chose fast money, chose shortcuts over skills, over growth, over confidence. It's not that easy, but I always tell my people, do not give up. Because if I tell you where I'm coming from into details, you will be amazed. You will look at me and be like, Nora, yes, I did it. And you can do it. People see me as a guide. Every single day, I have DMs. Miss Nora, sorry for bothering you. I want you to give me clarity. Miss Nora, sorry, can you introduce me to a good coach? I want to be a VA. Miss Nora, that. And when I see messages like that in my DM every single day, I was like, no, is this really me? That I'm helping somebody, that I'm guiding somebody, that I'm telling somebody the clarity, what that person needs to do. Sometimes I wish I can tell the whole world that being the digital skill or being the digital world is never a scam. If you are being asked to learn, if you are being asked to study, it's never a scam because at the end of the day, you don't know whatever you're going to get from it. I never, ever dreamed that I'll be meeting Monet. Where will I even meet her if not in this digital world? I will meet her anywhere. And I was so surprised when I met her. She brought that this thing up and I was like, okay, let me try to apply. I knew a lot of people will be in her DM will apply for this because people want to be out here. But I got selected among all these people who it's so amazing. I got selected. That day when I saw in my email that I got selected for a VA, I was like, Mom, no. Mom, we made it. Mom, we did it. I tell my community members, hey guys, I have been accepted to come be a speaker in this event. Like they were so happy. Ruth was like, Nora, I'm proud of you. Felix was like, Nora, I'm proud of you. I never gave up. Giving up should never be an option for you. Are you a founder, entrepreneur? Are you a student? What do you do? You think like uh you can't do anything. Like you think like you are not you don't deserve to be here. You are not qualified. You are qualified. Take action today and trust me. I tell Monet that what I'm about to tell you here is my experience, something that I've passed through, and I know what I'm talking about. Do not give up, please. You want to be in the digital skill. You want to start as a VA. You are very fortunate you've gotten this platform, this event to be here to tell you the details of VA. I never had the chance. I went with no clarity. I didn't understand anything, but I still moved ahead. But you are fortunate you have this. A lot of speakers are behind. They're about to tell you details of the VA, the prices, how to be confident, how to position yourself. You have this thing coming on your way. Do not take it as a joke. I wished that I had it. I had this long time ago. I wish I didn't spend the whole 3 years wasting my time, wasting my battle, just searching for how to make money fast. I wasted this time, but it's never too late for me. I tell myself always, it's never too late for me. So it's never too late for you too. If you feel that you are so heartbroken, you are so emotionally stuck, financially stuck, so nothing is going to work for you, trust me, it's going to work for you. Some of you in here have the access to those resources. You have big phones, you have laptops, you have a whole working space, you are holding a degree. Add these digital skills to your life because you might not know what is going to happen next. What my journey taught me, it taught me skills, it taught me growth, it taught me that impossible can be possible. Fast money delayed my growth, but I accepted it fully. Skills gave me the direction and the confidence that I'm having it right here to speak with you. Clarity came from learning and guidance. Some of you here have already been in the digital skills. Some of you here have already started your VA course. But after the VA course, when maybe you study only one course, you think there is no clarity. I haven't gotten a job. I cannot find a job. The VA is scarce. The people are not getting jobs. It's never true. It's never, ever true. How you position yourself out there will tell you, will show you that there are clients out there who are looking for people to hire. So if you're in the VA sector, you think you are lost, just like I was lost at the beginning. Seek guidance. And today you have Miss Monet here. She's here for you. Right after this event, if you think you are lost, you need something to attach to your 9 to 5 work. Do not go anywhere. Right after from here, I wish I met Miss Monet early, but like I said, it's not too early. Just go to her, explain your problems to her, and she's going to guide you. She's going to help you. Your background does not limit your future. And you don't need perfection to start. Whatever that you have right now here, start with it. And trust me, if you are consistent, if you are ready to be out there, you are going to be out there. When I told my mom that I have this event, she even cried. She cried. There are lots of challenges and obstacles that you are going to face throughout this journey. A week before my event, I lost my home where I stay. I lost the home. I lost my laptop. It got spoiled. I told Monet that, Monet, this is what is happening. But because of this event, it's calming me down. It's motivating me. It's telling me there are people out there that I need to show up in any ways. And today, here I am. I never thought I would even get this set up. I have a very nice laptop in front of me, and I feel so comfortable talking to you. The confidence is so high. You see. So if you start right now, if you start today, you might not know what is going to happen to you in the future. Thank you so much for listening to me, for listening to my journey, how I became a VA. Like I said, my first mindset was bad, which is fast money. But at the end of the day, I knew and I learned that I don't need perfection to start whatever I know I want to start. And my background, as I'm not holding a degree, I'm from a poor home, I'm from a poor family, never limited me to my future. I'm on the road and I know I will get there. So as you. So if you are here today, you are thinking to learn something, but you think you don't have the access.
So we're gonna brand your business the professional way. The professional way, y'all. And there's a lot of times where I feel like I see some branding that's like, okay, I don't know about that. There's a playful versus professional. But don't get me wrong, when I first started my brand, not as a VA, but with my hair care brand, I was very playful, very playful. I was using glitter in my logo. I don't know what I was doing within the branding world, but it was very playful. And I needed to be professional. When you brand professional, you got to think you want to take this brand, your business, years down the line. You want someone to be able to trust you when they see your logo. When they see your logo, they have to be, you want them to be like, yes, okay, this is a brand that I can trust. But if I start seeing too much glitter, playful stuff, characters in the logo, I'm like, okay, wait a minute now. I don't know. I don't know. All right, so okay, y'all, sorry. I'm like admitting people to the room as well. All right, so I'm going to be teaching you guys. I have got I have to get a logo for my brand, and you will get a logo. A logo is coming. I like to teach people in acronyms. So today we are going to be learning about, or we're going to be learning clear. The C is for clean visuals. The L is for legit tone. The E is for elevated content. The A is for aligned with ideal content. ideal clients, and then the R's for repetition, consistency. So what VA branding really is? Branding is just not logos and colors. Branding is how clients um, your perceive your work, perceive who you are, perceive your business. Like I said, when I see a clear professional logo, I'm like, okay, this business is legit. But when I see a playful logo, I'm kind of like, okay, yes, they may be a VA, but what are they really doing? What are they really doing? You kind of got to think corporate when you think of your logo for a virtual assistant, because we are doing admin work, clerical tasks, social media. We are um, the back end for a business. So we got to think corporate almost when we think of our logos. Like I feel like most VA businesses should have like a text-based logo. I feel like that is what is best. Now, everyone has their own different feel when it comes to making their logo, their brand. Like I said, when you truly just have a professional logo, it will get you so much further. It will get you so much further. Just trust me when I tell you that. And like I said on the slide, so trust equals bookings plus long-term clients. And this is why playful can hurt your brand. Um, Clients hire VAs for structure and support. Overplaying or overly playful branding can feel inexperienced, casual, unclear. Professional branding positions you as a service provider and not just something you're doing as a hobby. So, like I said, like if you have a logo with glitter and some characters in it, and you're just everyone's VA virtual bestie, and mind you, I mean that is a good like name, but if it's just all over the place, it's kind of like, how am I supposed to trust this person that has a whole anime character in their logo? And what are they really going to do for me? Like, I need real support. Like, I need my email marketing going up. I need my blogs being written. I really need to be able to trust this person. Um, for clean visuals, like I said, simple logos, easy to read fonts, neutral or muted color palettes, minimal design elements. Like I said, text-based logos for virtual assistants. My preference, but like I said, you can always do what you want to do, but simple logos are the best. When it's script fonts, hearts, sprinkles, emojis and logos, and over-designed graphics, it kind of just makes someone be like, what's going on here? I don't know about that. So just keep your logo clean. Um, keep your logo clean and simple and just text-based, honestly. It's like nothing more to say. Like just keep it text-based. You can always have fun with it, but just keep it text-based. In legit tone, speak clearly and confidently, sound solution focus, use business language within branding as well. So playful tone, I'm your inbox bestie. And I know a lot of us have connected on threads, and most of us are connecting, trying to get clients on threads from what I see. Um, so instead of, when there's someone posting on threads that they need someone to help with their inbox. If I post I'm your inbox bestie, like okay, cool. But when you say I help streamline inboxes and operations, they're like, okay, let me connect with this person. Because it's the professional tone, it's the words you're using. Like I'm saying, like when it comes to VA, like think corporate, like think you're in office, think you're in the building, you're at the desk, like professional. Like you at your 9 to 5, some people probably still work 9 to 5s and do VA on the side. But at your 9 to 5, you're not gonna tell your boss like, yeah, I'm your inbox bestie. You're gonna say, all right, like I can definitely help you clean out your inbox and we can get it organized. We can create folders for you and literally get it going. So just think about playful tone and professional tone, even when you are speaking with clients. That helps a lot. I see that a lot on threads too, and I'm like, okay, like, and I see the people that are actually speaking a professional tone are the ones that are getting the replies, getting the DMs. So just be mindful when you are connecting with people. that's your next opportunity. Have that professional tone. And when it comes to your content with virtual assistant, you want to teach, educate, show your skills, highlight your processes, your results. One of our speakers on here, Liz, she does amazing at highlighting her results that she has with her clients. She always shows her before and after. So if you need some examples, you want to see what I'm talking about, definitely give Liz a follow. She will be speaking here soon. But I love how she highlights her processes and her results, even if it's posting client testimonials, feedbacks, whatever you are. Hey Liz, yes, see you in the chat. Whatever your clients are telling you, take that and post that. I have clients tell me, I have my clients tell me, oh my goodness, since my email campaign has helped me get more scheduling on my calendar, or they're replying to my emails. Like, yes, take everything. I don't care if it's a text message. I don't care if it's a text message, a phone call, whatever. Try to get any type of client testimonial so that you can post it on your page, because people want to see that you are that you are actually doing the work, that you are making a difference within what you are doing and how you are helping your clients. Because within the VA world, they're hiring us to take some pressure off them so that they can focus elsewhere in their business. So they want to see the results. And as a VA, I'm not saying that because we are helping them, we're getting them more sales. That's not our job. Okay, that is not our job. We are not we are not there to help them get more clients, but we are there to help them streamline the process so that they can focus to be able to get more clients. Y'all get that? Because sometimes I have worked with clients as well, like they expect you to be the one to help them sell. No, that's not the case. You can post tips on your time or on your feed, workflows, client pain points and solutions, behind the scenes work, not selfies only. I love posting tips on my page, workflows. I love recording videos, even though sometimes I don't post them. um, but I love recording myself at the coffee shop. I'm at the coffee shop on a daily. I have my team on here. BB and Zakwana, we meet Tuesdays. We're at the coffee shop. I mean, we're at the coffee shop almost every other day, putting in work, and we're not stopping. Um, so we recording ourselves, just even if it's you propping up your camera and just recording yourself doing work. Our speaker Amber, she is good at that. Like I said, if you need examples, follow her. She's always recording her working, and speeding up the video. She's typing, talking to clients behind the scenes. They want to see that you're actually working. So if you need examples, definitely follow Amber on social media. She is good at that. Like I said, Liz is good at showing the before her clients, or before she started working with her clients and after. So there is opportunity in the room, there's support, there is resources, there's people you can learn from when it comes to content out here. On my page, I post a lot of tips. I post, how I can help you, the pain points that clients go through, how I can take that away. Can we get their connection links? Yes. Liz and Amber, please drop your Instagrams in the chat, or however you will want them to connect with you so that they can see how you post your content. Um, so yeah, the tips, we love to see a good tip. We love to see a good tip. It could be that one tip to change your life, or to change the client's life, to change your life. We want to see tips on how it's helping them. And then of course, however you plan your content, but how are we getting the client to be able to just flow through their day? So we want to post tips on how we can help them. All right, and then we want to be aligned with our ideal clients. So you got to ask yourself, who am I trying to attract? Corporate clients, coaches, CEOs. Your branding should look like the world, not just yours. So like I said, when it comes to um, having like that professional text-based simple logo, I'm trying to attract corporate clients. So yes, I want my logo to be simple, um, text-based, not too much. Like I said, not too much. Of course, if you want to, maybe you want maybe your ideal client is someone who, or you want to help people who run daycares that work with children. Maybe you have experience, you want to target them and help them. Yes, Nora, drop your handle, your at handle as well. Websites, LinkedIn, whatever. Um, Maybe, you want to target someone with a daycare. Okay, maybe I could see your logo being a little bit more playful because you're targeting daycare providers. So of course, okay, it's a little bit more playful when it comes to kids. But if that's your ideal target audience, then yes, gear up your logo to your target audience. But if you're trying to attract corporate clients, coaches, CEOs, professional, professional, professional. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot say it enough. Professional logos. Think about who you're trying to attract. Think about the logos you see on the buildings when you're driving in your car. You don't just think about it. Literally, just take a second to think about the logos you see when you are driving. Do they look playful or are they professional? Hey, Rachel, welcome in. And then when it comes to branding, um, make sure you have a brand guideline. You want to make sure you're using the same fonts, same color, and the same tones, and the same message. The consistency. As you can see, my slideshow is brown. My colors of my brand are brown and a light pink. So I'm keeping my slideshow even consistent to my brand. So use the same colors, use the same fonts, use the same tone, the same message, so that they can see who you are. When they are scrolling, they see brown and pink, they just know, okay, that's the Monet method because I have used the same colors, same fonts, and I'm not changing it up. Use it, use it, use the same colors, use the same fonts. Yes, you can, have fun and play with it if you are a graphic designer, because I do a lot of Canva graphic design as well. Um, but use the same colors so that they can just know who you are you can stop them from scrolling. They know who this is. Color is consistency and essential in branding. Yes, it is. Everybody should have a brand guideline. If you're getting a logo created and they don't provide you a brand guideline, I think you might need to find a new graphic designer because they should be providing a brand guideline. In fact, you should do the work and make sure that they provide a brand guideline before you even inquiry with them or purchase. I know, like, if you decide to go to Fiverr and get a logo, they might not provide you a brand guideline. But if you're working with like a legit graphic designer, they're going to provide you a brand guideline. So just be sure to be consistent across social media with your colors, with your tone, with your message. Have your logo, like I said, simple, not playful. I know a lot of us love gold, and there's nothing wrong with gold, and there's nothing wrong with silver. Um, Actually, a lot of businesses have gold, but just be mindful that sometimes when you want to make some merch, it's hard to print, not hard to print, but if you have glitter, what I learned was I had a glitter logo before and I tried to get my logo printed on a shirt and it was not going to come up glitter. They had to turn it into a solid gold color. So you also want to think what if you want to see your logo on a shirt, you want to see your logo on a sweater, on a bag, on a coffee mug, you want it to be clear across. And then the final branding rule is if and when it looked right in a contract, invoice, or proposal, don't use it. Don't use it. These are professional documents, especially contracts. These are contracts, but the contract between you and a client, an invoice or a proposal, those are all professional documents. Your logo should look like it belongs there, not as if this is a playful document and we don't know what's really going on here. Does anyone have any questions for me? Please let me know. Drop it in the chat. Is anyone going to get a simple logo? Let's go.
All right. So my name is Amber. I will be talking to you all today about just setting up your systems that support you. And when I tell y'all, if y'all know anything or if y'all learn anything, please make sure that y'all have systems in place, especially come 2026. You don't want to slip up and not have your systems in place. And I always tell people, less is more when it comes to systems. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it seem like it's a Jenga puzzle, because it's not. It's very, very simple. So, yeah, so just a little bit about me. I am from Dallas, Texas, born and raised. I've been here my entire life. I run an agency on both a B2B and B2C side. So with the I do virtual assistant work, operation support as well, and workforce development. Within the B2C side, where I'm working with customers, I am an operations assistant and executive support partner, where I focus on systems and organization. Majority of my clients come to me and they either don't have a CRM system, or they have one already, or they don't have one, and I'm just going in and setting that up for them. So that's what I do in a nutshell for that. I'm also a personal trainer. I'm a multifaceted girly. I stick beside having multiple businesses. Monet will tell you. And then I also just specialize in simple sustainable systems. Like I told y'all, I am all about less is more. The less you have, the less complicated it is. So we'll get into it. So, why your systems matter. Your systems will help you reduce being overwhelmed. They'll help you protect your time, and they'll help you scale sustainably. And when I mean sustainably, like Norah talked about earlier, of course, when you come into it, you think you want to move fast, but if you tend to move fast, that means somewhere down the line, you might end up slipping, or cracks might end up being you might experience some cracks somewhere in the along down the line, and your systems will help you prevent that over time. So that's why your systems matter. And I put a picture of roots because your systems is your foundation. If y'all learn anything from me, I started a business in 2020. I had to shut down my business because I did not have the systems in place, because I was getting the clients, but my systems were terrible. And this is why I hoop and holla about systems being in place. They are your foundation, and you always want to make sure that they are set up properly. So what happens if you don't have your systems in place? You end up missing deadlines. You're scattered and all over the place when it comes to communication. And I'm telling y'all now, clients can pick up on your systems not being in place. They can tell when you are all over the place. I've had clients call me out on this when I first started out my business. And this is why I am very passionate about it now, is because they can tell. And also, too, you won't have confidence in, or when it comes to the time of you raising your prices and scaling, you won't feel confident to do it because your systems are all over the place, or you don't have any in place. So I want you to think on this. If your systems disappear today, could your business still run effectively? So think about it. If you call yourself wanting to have a multi-million, billion, trillion-dollar business, would your business still be able to run with the systems that you have in place? You want to make sure your systems are locked in. So the core systems that every VA needs, you want to make sure you have your task and projects, or you have your systems for task and projects, communication, files and documentation, and time and capacity. So for your task and your projects, this is where majority of your work lives. So that comes from client task, deadlines, and priorities. And if it's not written down, it's not organized. You cannot have your tasks and your projects living in your head. And that's majority of how my clients are when they come to me. Everything lives in their head. And so from there, everything I when I usually have meetings with them, it's almost like brain dump sessions because I'm listening to them, taking in the information that they need, and then I create the system for them. And as a VA, that is very important that you have that quality, especially where things are shifting. You want to make sure that you have that. Communication. So this is how you protect your energy with emails and messages, your response time, your client boundaries. And clear communication keeps work from spilling into everything else. So for files and documentation, this is about clarity and trust. So your folder structures, SOPs, client documents. If someone else can find it, you did the right thing. So with this specifically, this has to do when you get ready to hire people because you're not going to be able to do it all yourself, especially if you plan on having like the multi-million and billion and trillion dollar business. You will need to hire people. So this is where your SOPs are very, very important because you want to be able to have a seamless process where your team members are able to say, oh, wow, like, okay, I can actually follow these rules and know what's going on and know how to do what I need to do. And then lastly, for time and capacity, this is the heart of staying organized. So your working hours, time blocking, knowing when to pause or say no. This is where your boundaries come in place. And I understand as a VA, this is what I did. You tend to just take on everything because for one, you're super excited. You probably just want money. You probably sometimes, some people, let me say that. You're probably just ready to pick up some money. You're excited to work with people. You're just ready, so excited. But having boundaries in place will save you and your business. So as you're working as well, you want to make sure that you are clocking your hours. And with this, and I'll go through and share that in the next couple of slides, but you want to make sure that you are clocking your hours and that you are utilizing time blocking. Because with your clients, some clients are going to want to see where your hours or where the hours are going. Especially if you have, depending on how you have your services structured, they want to see, okay, what is she doing within this time? What is she working on? And I need to see the proof for that. And knowing when to say no. For me, y'all, when it comes to business, I run a faith-based business. So although an opportunity may seem good, God is my business coach. And I go to him about every client. There's clients that have offered me so much money. But I always go back to God and say, do you want me working with this person? And baby, he tell you quick in a hurry, absolutely not. Because there may be things within that business that don't align with your business. And as Monet talked about, you want to make sure that you have your brand values in place. Values are a part of branding. And if they don't align with your values, then your business will go all over the place. So here are the I would say the tools that or a list of different examples for tools that you will have in your business. So for ClickUp, I know a lot of people are familiar with ClickUp. This is best for if you manage multiple clients in complex workflows. So for myself, I utilize ClickUp because I have multiple clients, and it's good that you have templates in place when it comes to any project management system that you're working with or tools that you're utilizing. You want to make sure that you have templates. That way it's for one more seamless and everything is just flowing basically the same way. Everything shows up the same for each client. And then you have Asana. It's clean and simple and great for task clarity. It's a good fit if you want something straightforward and easy to maintain. And I believe for Asana, especially if you're wanting to get into workflows, Asana has a workflow specialist certification that I know people have been currently getting. So please take advantage of that certification as well if you've been wanting to get into Asana. Trello. Now, I'll say Trello is probably the most beginner friendly one. It's good for like if you want just simple, minimalistic, a simple minimalistic platform to go with. Trello will be your best friend. And then Notion. Notion is good, it's flexible if you say if you're building out your system. It's good for systems, but it's more good for like if you're planning things out or if you're creating templates. That's where I would utilize Notion. Notion is really good for that. And again, just a tip and a food for thought. If it's not written down, it is not a system. And excuse me for my errors down there. I'm sorry. The best system is the one that you will actually use. And I know for majority of the platforms, they do have they usually have trials that you can use to test out the platform before you actually invest into it. So please utilize that. And like I said, if it's not written down, it's not a system. I always tell people when it comes back to calendar and me just planning things, if it's not on the calendar or if it's not written down, it's not happening. So yes. Your communication systems. So inbox zero matters. So this comes like with, or this has to do with like your email organization. So in your email, you want to make sure you have folders and labels and filters so that messages don't get lost. Your clear response time. Let clients know when they can expect to hear back from you. I always tell my clients, you'll probably get a response back from me between 24 to 48 hours, depending on what's going on. And then also too, just making sure you stand on that. Please stand on that. I've had situations in the past where I told them something and then like down the line, it's okay, like, yeah, no, we can do this. It's going back to boundaries. Because the first time you slip up, you do have those people that say, oh yeah, like I can just throw something. Like, no, these are the guidelines and we're gonna abide by them. Because that not only does that let them know how to treat you, but it also shows them how you treat yourself. And that goes back to respect. So you want to make sure that you're clear on your response times. Client boundaries. Again, going back to boundaries. Y'all, I hoop and holler behind boundaries. Because boundaries are probably one of the main foundations when it comes to business. You want to make sure that you protect your time and your energy, especially if you have, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have family and friends outside of just working your VA business. So you want to make sure that you communicate your boundaries, and take a rest day. Rest days are very important. So just making sure you communicate that with your clients and letting them know like, hey, I don't communicate on such and such day, but we can revisit the following day. And again, going back to templates. Templates are probably the most effective thing to have for like if you have repeating messages. So say if you are communicating for a client and majority of their processes are the same when it comes to clients reaching out to them, wanting to talk to them. You want to make sure you have templates in place for repeated questions, follow-ups, or updates. And then going to file and documentation systems. So having folders in your emails or your emails or in your, like say in your computer. Like for me, I have a MacBook. So in my MacBook, I create folders for I have one specifically for my business name. And then in my business name, I have my clients' names. And you want to make sure that you have folders set up, like say, if you're no longer working with a client, you have like an archive folder. That way, once they're done working with you, you can archive their documents. And also too, please don't, I'm not a fan of deleting things just because you never know when you may need something. So I always just have that archive folder specifically for that. Having a shared drive for clients. This is good, like in the event, say your client has content, say if you're a social media manager and you need to create content for your client. They can go through and drop like their logos in the folder. They can drop their pictures in the folder. Anything like that. They can drop that in that shared drive. Having your SOPs and process documents. So this is a step-by-step guides for repeated tasks. So again, if you're looking at hiring someone, this is efficient for that specific reason. That way they have a process to follow. And you don't really have to do too much communication. Now you do want to, this is good for training as well, because you do want to make sure when you hire someone that you train them properly. And this is where your SOPs and your process documents and your playbooks come into place. And having something that's easily accessible and people don't have to guess what's going on. Have one main place or one main home for your files so that nothing gets lost. And then the tip is organization builds trust and professionalism. Going back to what Monet said, this is a part of your branding, and people can tell if you don't have your organization in place. That is, organization should be a part of your brand. And that goes back to building trust and professionalism. So time and capacity systems. So just breaking down again, like the time blocking, clear working hours, task batching, and knowing when to delegate or saying no. So time blocking for me, with me having multiple clients, I like to have certain days where I work on certain clients' task or needs. That way you don't feel like you have to do, like, say if you get to the point where you have 5 clients, you don't have to feel like you have to work on 5 clients within that day. So say if you have 5 clients, you work on 2 clients on Monday, 2 clients on Tuesday, and then you switch back from Monday's clients on Wednesdays. So just making sure you have that time blocking in place for that, and you make sure that you stick to that time blocking, because I know distractions can get the best of us. I do tend to social media scroll a lot. So you want to make sure that you have your time blocking in place, or your tools for time blocking. I forgot to mention the tool that I use for that. So the tool I use is Toggle. It's TOGGL. And there's another one too. I can go through and drop them in the chat, or if you need if you want to reach out to me for any systems or anything that I use, then feel free to reach out. Having your clear working hours. So having clear start and stop times, so that one client's work isn't dripping over into another client's time. Task batching. So you want to make sure you group similar tasks together so that you can work with focus, finish faster, and protect your energy. Knowing when to delegate or say no. Again, this is the biggest one, especially when you're starting out. You tend to want to say yes to everything. And this is why I think you want to be specific on, like Monet said, you want to be specific on who you work with. Do you want to work with coaches? Do you want to work with real estate agents? Do you want to work with those in the health and wellness industry? That way you know, okay, this is the type of person I want to work with. This is the type of person I don't want to work with. Not saying that you can't be open to other opportunities, but it's good to know who you want to work with. That way, you know, okay, if this person doesn't align, then hey, I'm not able to work with them. And knowing when to delegate effectively. This goes back to, again, boundaries. If you are feeling overwhelmed, you want to make sure you stop and for one, be honest with yourself and say, okay, am I actually do I have the capacity to take on more? And this is why it's good to have someone to work with, because if you don't have that capacity, you're able to move things along to the other person that you're working with. So staying organized long term. Again, we talking about if you want to have the multi-millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire business, this is what we're talking about here. So your systems only work if they are simple, consistent, and reviewed regularly. I always review my systems. I said probably quarterly. I review my systems quarterly just to see if there's anything that needs to shift, especially once you bring on certain clients. You want to see, okay, do I need to implement X, Y, and Z? Do I need to take out some things? Do I need to make this more simple? So making sure you have those check-ins with yourself as often as you need to. And like I said, less is more. Simple, consistent. For me being a trainer, I have to stick to a routine, because if you don't have a routine in place, you'll be scattered and running all over the place. So you want to make sure that you keep things simple and consistent. It will seem boring, but boring is probably the best thing that you need. And then you want to always make sure and just ask yourself, as part of like a check-in, does this system still serve me, and is it easy to maintain? So the common VA mistakes when it comes to systems. So the systems only work if they are overcomplicating systems, using too many tools, and building systems you won't maintain. So these are majority of the common mistakes that you see when it comes to having certain systems as being a virtual assistant. Simple systems win every single time. Every single time. So for your next steps, you want to choose one system to simplify, one habit to strengthen, and one boundary to protect your time this week. I forgot to edit this slide. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's been a long week. But you want to make sure that you audit your current systems. You pick one area to improve on. You simplify before adding tools. And you build systems that support your life, not just your work. So when it comes to this, you want to make sure that you choose, like say if you want to choose one area you want to work on, is it making sure that you are communicating effectively with your client? So making sure you have clear, specific guidelines for your client to understand when it comes to working with you. Also for your systems, say if you have a system in place and you need to work on making some tweaks within the system, removing some things, adding some things, this is where this will come. And you want to build systems that support your life, not just your work. Because I'm telling y'all now, your systems, although they are for your business, they do bleed into your personal life as well. So just make sure you keep that in mind. So, know before you go, before you log off, just to wrap it up, systems should support your life, not control it. Your organization is built through consistency, not perfection. As someone who is a recovering perfectionist, you want to make sure that your organization is just consistent. You don't want to overthink anything. And like Norah said, just start somewhere. Your simple systems are easier to maintain and scale. Again, less is more. You don't want to overcomplicate anything, and you want to think long term. Is your systems easy to understand, and are they simple? Would this next person be able to understand what's going on and how things are within your business? Your capacity matters just as much as your productivity. Again, going back to analyzing your business and yourself and saying, okay, am I able and am I capable to take on more? Where do I need to shift some things? And where do I need to take a pause on some things? Make sure y'all implement rest time. I'm big on health and wellness. please make sure you implement your rest times, and make sure if you have clients that you're working with, if you notice that they have a hard time with resting, you as a leader, because you are a leader, you need to make sure that they implement rest time within their life as well. Huge, huge on that. So, do you all have any questions for me at all?
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I used Asana and I'm starting to use ClickUp. What would you say you like about, have you used Asana before?
I haven't used Asana before, but I have good friends that use Asana.
Okay. What would you say your favorite part is about ClickUp? Because I'm still trying to like tap into ClickUp and I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to Asana. But can you tell me like some tips on how to use ClickUp? Because like I said, I'm a VA and I'm still learning. We're all still learning.
Yeah.
So from one system to another, I was taught Asana when I first started off as a virtual assistant. Like I said, I didn't know nothing about systems. So I only been using Asana. But like I said, I do like ClickUp. I'm in there a little bit, but I'm still like navigating.
Yes. So with ClickUp, and ClickUp is one of those platforms that is always evolving. They are always implementing something. So, it does come with time to learn ClickUp. Um, ClickUp is more of the, um, I would say ClickUp is probably one of the most, like, it's one of the most, I don't want to use the word challenging, because as you start to use it more, you'll get the click, or you'll get the hang of it. But it's more one of one of those platforms that may be more challenging to use. You have to take your time utilizing ClickUp. So I enjoy using ClickUp because the flexibility that you have in there, and just like overall organization organization of the platform itself. I'm able to do so many different things within ClickUp. Like, I go through and create like different folders for my clients. I go through and they have like automation tools that you can use within ClickUp. Um, what else? Um, They also too, like, if you do end up using ClickUp, I know that they have videos in there that you can watch if you're wanting to learn something specifically. But I enjoy mainly like the workflow process when it comes to ClickUp. They're very, or I always utilize their training videos on like learning different workflows and how to build workflows. So that's the main thing. I would say that's probably the main thing is workflows. As you all continue to scale within your VA business, workflows will probably be the number one thing that you want to utilize. Workflows and streamlining your workflows. So, Monet, I would say that's probably the main thing when it comes to ClickUp is the workflow part, because you're able to build workflows effectively and streamline things more efficiently. So, um, I go through and help people when it comes to just like learning certain things in ClickUp. So if y'all ever utilize ClickUp, or if you want to learn more about ClickUp, feel free to let me know, and I'm willing to help wherever I need to.
Yes, that's so amazing. Thank you. And I know we mentioned SOPs. I'm over here multitasking two screens. Let them, did you already say what SOP stands for?
Yeah, so
Okay.
SOPs stand I didn't say what they stand for.
Okay.
SOPs stand for standing operating procedures. So again, this, just like to put it in layman's terms, um if you're baking a cake and you want to explain how the cake is baked, step 1, uh if you're making a box cake, take the package out of the box. 2, open up the box and pour the content in the bowl. So just like an outline of how to do a certain task or a certain project. That's what your standing operating procedures are for.
Yes, very, very detailed. And you will have SOPs in your 9 to 5 if you still work a 9 to 5. I know I did at a law firm, and you have to be very specific. Very specific. I work with attorneys and very specific.
Heavy on attorneys because and now that you say that, depending on the really, because I would if you're working with a DJ, no matter who you're working with,
Mhm.
you always want to make sure that that you have SOPs somewhere in there, no matter who you're working with. I don't care if you're working for a small business, a medium business, or a large business. You want to make sure that SOPs are in place.
Yes. And then Amber, I feel like you can tap into this. So, when we start working with different clients, sometimes we have our systems in place as a VA, but I have dealt with clients that already have their systems in place. Can you kind of tap into like how um how you like balance working with different clients that have different systems in place, because not every client is the same, and a client may come to you, you might get a client that already has a whole system in place and you got to follow their systems, and it's just like your systems are like out the wall, blew out the water. So how do you manage that when and I can answer this too, but I feel like you can answer most definitely when you have multiple clients and they all have different systems that you have to follow along.
So when it comes to that, now for me, I always tend to ask questions. I love to ask questions. So if they have a certain system that I need to follow, this is what you want to ask during your onboarding call or during your consultation call. You always want to make sure and ask, are there any specific systems that you currently have in place that I need to follow? So that's where you learn that. And when it comes to a system that they already have in place, they need more than likely they usually have a document for you to follow, or that person sometimes may be willing to train you with the system that they already use. Now for me, I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm gonna figure it out as I go type of girl. And as you start to work with clients, majority of the time, especially people that are busy, they want to see that you are capable of figuring stuff out, because a lot of times they're not going to be there. They won't be able to hold your hand. They want to see they want to see that you are capable of doing these things on your own. So a lot of the times, if they have a system already in place, in like say if they have a document, like I pick up and just like, okay, cool, this is what we're doing. If I have questions, I do ask, or majority of the time I'll look it up on YouTube. Like baby, YouTube is your bestie. I YouTube everything. So, um, I usually just go through and do that when it comes to a system that they already have in place. Um, and I always tell my clients too, the onboarding process, like the meat and potatoes of the onboarding process, usually I take within like that first week, like just me like digesting everything and just like doing research on my own and just like getting in the weeds of everything and seeing where things are. You want to give yourself enough time to be able to do that. Because if you just hop in there, you do have clients that work like this. You do have clients where they just take you in, you throw you in the water, like, here you go, you got this. And sometimes, gratefully for me, I'm just that type of person where I am able to sink or swim. But if you know yourself and you're like, hey, that doesn't work for me, then communicate with the client and say, hey, do you have like any type of instructions or anything where I'm able to see and learn what it is that I need to know about this specific system? That way they're able to show you what you need to know.
Yes,
That's
that yes, that is good, Amber. There is a question in the chat said, did you figure out who your ICP is right from the beginning?
Oh, this is a good question. I love talking about ICPs and IAPs. So,
Let us know what ICP stands for the people who don't know.
yes. So ICP stands for Ideal Client Profile. Correct me if I'm wrong, Monet. I think that's what it stands for. But for that's it's basically like your ideal client. So when it comes to that, you there's always this saying that I stick beside, and I learned this from my therapist, is majority of your clients are you. They are that most of the time they act like you. So for me and my clients, and this is the reason why I'm able to charge what I charge as well. And baby, I know somebody gonna get into pricing, but this is why I'm able to charge what I charge and be confident in what I'm charging. Because majority of my clients are me. So my clients are, I work specifically with Black high achieving women who are scattered and all over the place, and things tend to look good on the outside, but in the inside they are burnt out, tired, and have no boundaries. So if you're able to know, and the reason why I said, because for me that's where I came from, and I'm a high achieving person. So I know how my clients are operating. I know what they need, and I'm able to implement those things. And they're able to say, "Girl, please take my money." Like one of my clients, I work with a therapist, and I'm helping her build out her systems for her practice. Every single month, "Girl, please take my money. Please take my money. Please take my money." Like, and so if you want to be able to have that, it's important that you know who it is that you work with specifically. And majority of the time, is you kind of start to pick up on it, the type of people that reach out to you. So this goes back to listening, having those calls, those onboarding calls, and listening to what specifically that client needs, the problem that you are solving. So you want to make sure that that your listening skills are on point. That's probably the main thing, is making sure that your listening skills are on point. That way you're able to determine, okay, and you start to see a pattern. Like, okay, this is the type of clients that I'm getting. And now you're able to base your pricing around it and be confident in your pricing. So that's what I would say for that, for ICPs.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was good. This is what you want to hear. Please take my money. That's alignment. Yes, Zaquana. Um, Go ahead, Amber.
Yeah, so just want to, I wasn't for sure if anyone else had questions, but if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to me on this platform, because I do want to respect everyone's time. You can reach me email, my website, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I will tend to probably respond through email or Instagram. So feel free to reach out to me on there. I'm on those platforms majority of the time. So yeah. I thank y'all for spending time with me today. And again, if you want to stay connected, reach out to me on those platforms.
Hi everyone, I'm Liz. I'm actually from the UK, so I feel really privileged that Monet invited me to come and, join and speak today. And it's lovely to meet you all. And I hope that I can connect with you all and we can stay in touch after this. But I'm speaking about pricing and knowing your worth as a VA today. So I'm going to talk a bit about that, and basically it's just going to be a whole mixture of stuff. So buckle up, it's going to be a juicy one. So I'll get into it. So, why pricing matters. So, in my opinion, I think that pricing isn't just a number, it's something that affects your confidence and your boundaries. And undercharging doesn't keep you safe, it keeps you stuck. So, what I mean by that is when you don't feel like you should undercharge, don't undervalue your work, because doing that will keep you stuck in the same spot. It will keep you stagnant and it won't allow you to grow. But then if you do grow, it'll only be gradual, and you'll see why as I go throughout, and it'll make sense. So my VA journey, so this is in terms of pricing. So when I started, I will admit that I did undercharge because I didn't
feel confident enough in what I was offering and the services I was offering. And I thought, if I don't charge as much, then I'll get more clients. And it will just be kind of a domino effect because people will come to me because I'm good value for money when that's always not the case. And it's more common than you think. So a lot of other VAs out there, or not even just VAs, but a lot of business owners that do like service-based businesses, they do undercharge themselves, especially when they're first starting out, because they're in that same mindset, where they want to get like your foot off the ground, you want to get good, like more clients, you want to be successful. But now I've been into a year of starting Simply Admin. So I've owned Simply Admin for a year now, and I have such a clearer picture on what my pricing is, what's suitable for the services I offer, and what my worth is. Not only as an individual, but also a business owner and what I offer to people. So a bit of background into me. So I started Simply Admin about a year ago after I came out of the corporate world. So like Monet, I worked in a law firm, and then after that I worked in the NHS. So that's kind of our healthcare system in the UK. I did a lot of work in kind of like mental health, and then I did a lot of work in admin. And then I just decided that that wasn't for me. So I changed into a VA, and I've worked with and still work with multiple clients in different sectors. So that would be like business, beauty, mentors, coaches, nutritionists. Yeah, so quite a few. I've been quite lucky enough to work with a few businesses. So yeah, and now I'm a year in and I've learned so much already, including pricing, which a lot of people don't think it's important, but it's so important, especially when it comes to the longevity of your business. So, why VAs typically underprice? So, some common things that you might catch VAs saying is, "Oh, I'm new, so I don't want to overcharge people. Other VAs charge less." So, I'm going to touch on a bit of a topic. I don't know whether it's controversial, but for me, I don't include my prices online in the open for people to see because I kind of use it as a little marketing hack. So, in the sense of if people don't see your prices, it brings them in more. So, it's kind of keeping that level of secrecy. So it brings people in, so they're like, oh, I really want to find out how much her pricing is, what her packages are. I'll message her and see, and then it gets the conversation flowing more, and you also connect with them on a more personal basis than, say, for example, having your prices out in the open and people can see it as a first off. And it's not a bad thing. Of course, it's not. It's just personal preference. And I think you'll kind of learn what suits you as you go throughout your journey. But other things are, I don't want to scare clients off. They're a small business, so the VAs might feel bad for charging a lot because they're a small business. I should be grateful because I'm getting all these clients, so why should I be charging a lot? Um, and then, so something I call is the hidden cost of undercharging. So, by undercharging as a VA, you're going to experience things like burnout, resentment towards yourself because you're earning money, but you're not earning as much as you could be earning if you charged more. Overworking, scope creep. So, what I mean by that is that things that aren't within your packages kind of creep in. And if you have that leniency within your packages and what you offer, then your clients might come back and say, oh, well, Liz, if, say, for example, like content creation is in your VA services or social media management, and you didn't specify like hours or certain things within that, they might say, oh, well, can you do a caption for me? Can you create a post for me? And then it becomes two, then it becomes four, then it becomes six, and there's no cut-off point. So what you originally set as a scope, that line's now blurred and there's no kind of boundaries in place. And then also you're creating a small gap to grow as well. So lowering prices doesn't buy loyalty as you might think it does. It actually buys exhaustion because you're burning yourself out to the point where you can't continue for the longevity because you've just had enough by that point. So knowing your worth your worth is more than experience. So quite a few VAs, including myself, I'm just speaking for myself and in my experience. So people think that they can charge loads because they're experienced. And yes, that is one thing. However, but there's multiple other factors that go into it, like what services you offer, who you work for. I say qualifications, but not necessarily because you don't have to have qualifications. Um, so there's a multiple like group of things that go into it, but it is more than just experience itself. But then also experience doesn't limit the amount that you should charge. So say for example, if you're just starting up and you're reviewing your pricing structures at the moment and you feel like, oh, I can't charge a lot because I'm not that experienced. I don't know if people might, take this. Like, I think people might look at me and think, oh, why is she charging that? But it's your pricing is to you, it's suitable to you and no one else. So, worth does also not equal confidence. So, you don't have to feel confident to feel valuable. So, confidence comes after you take action and not before it. So, what I mean by this is that going back to what I said before, so your worth equals so much more. So just because you're confident, so it's all about perception. So say for example, you might think, oh, Liz looks so confident, she like her packages look really good, she's doing this, she's doing that. Yes, however, it comes with so much more than just confidence. So building confidence takes such a big thing to do along the way. So, as I said, it comes after you take action. So, after you start putting these things in place, confidence comes. So, until you chuck yourself in the deep end and think, right, this is what I'm going to offer, these are the prices I'm going to set, then you start kind of building your own confidence in a way because me a year ago is not me now. I'm so different into how I was a year ago. A year ago, when I was just first starting out, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know what to charge. I don't know what packages to do. I did not feel confident at all. I didn't feel like clients would invest into my services, invest into me as a VA. And then throughout time, as I've put kind of these structures in place, that's just completely changed. So, pricing as a business owner. So, I touched on this earlier a bit, but obviously, us as VAs, we're business owners. So, as a service-based business, you like to picture your pricing in a certain way. So when I first started my business, my prices and packages are different to what they are now. So I feel like in order to innovate and in order to keep up with things, you have to review your prices, your packages, or how you do things either every 6 months, yearly. So, me personally, I've never done hourly. I did hourly when I first started off. However, you come into complications with this as clients rightfully so want thorough breakdowns. They want to see what you've done with your hour, how you spent it. Say if you said a task taken you 5 hours, they want to see why it's taken you 5 hours because in their head, if they're paying you the money, they want to see if it's a justification for them to pay you that money if the task's taken that long, if I'm making sense. Whereas I feel like personally, if you do packages, it's a lot more justifiable and also it's a lot more attractive to clients because you can also tailor the packages to each individual business owner. So say for example, if it's, a beauty business owner compared to kind of like an independent service-based business owner like a therapist or a private practice lawyer or something like that, it's very different. That what they want from you is going to be very, very different. So I'm actually going through a pricing process at the moment, as in a revamp. So I'm actually reviewing my prices at the moment and then reassessing them, and then I'm gonna release them as new packages and new kind of like things in place. So I mean, feel free to kind of follow my Instagram. I put it in the chat, but and you can kind of see how I do that. It's going to be within the next few months. But if you want any advice on that in the meantime, then please feel free to message me, and I'm happy to kind of go through any of this pricing and kind of packages and how I structure these things. I'm completely happy to do that. So I've put a little example in. So I call this the mass reality check. So say for example, so I've put this in pounds because I'm based in the UK. So say for example, if you charge £3,000 per month per package, say for example, and in that month you're working 80 hours, that means you're charging that client £37.50 per hour. This is mine before taxes and expenses. So if you're undercharging, you're going to be left with even smaller amount. So say for example, right, if you're charging a package for $500 a month, right? That's really low in theory, but and then say for example, then you have to do your tax and you have to do your expenses and you're not kind of having a lot left. So it's good to, before you sit down and actually set your prices in, do research, talk to other VAs, look online, connect with people and find out, kind of like what they're charging, how they've structured it, if they've done like add-ons, if they've done hourly rates. So I'm happy to go through my packages at the end if anyone wants me to do that. Please let me know and I'm happy to go through kind of how I've structured them. But you can do them completely like there's so many different ways you can do them. And as I said before, you can do hourly based as well. And this is coming on to that. So I've kind of put a bit of a bullet point for both. So hourly pricing, it can cap your income because obviously you're only one person and you can only do a certain amount of hours within a month. And it's very time focused. So as I said before, your client wants to see that breakdown of what you're offering, what you're doing within that time, and how like efficient service you're providing them. And it also encourages overworking because with anyone, the more hours you work, the more money you earn. So, say for example, you're not going to work a 9 to 5 hourly structure. You're going to work over that because you want to earn more money because you want to work more hours. Whereas if you did a package structure, it's predictable income. So you know how much income you're going to get every month because you've packaged that price before and you've had kind of like a discovery call with your client. You've told them your prices. You've said, this is what I'm going to charge every month. And you have clear boundaries. So you've put your expectations already and what you're going to offer them within that package in the call. So everything's already set out. And then it's also outcome focused. So by setting out what you've done and what you're going to include in those packages, you know what you're going to achieve. So there's no, oh, well, I'm going to do this many hours this month, but then in this many hours, how much work do I have to do? Hourly, in my opinion, is so much more work than it is. And as I said at the bottom, clients buy results, not hours. So they invest in you for what you provide them and the best service that you can provide them. And it doesn't matter if it's hourly or packages. I always feel like someone's going to pay for you no matter what. So say, for example, if you charge 10 if you charge £50 an hour but someone else charges £10 an hour, if they truly believe that that £50 that you're charging provides so much value, they are going to pay for that no matter what price you stick on it because they know that it's worth it. So no matter how many people try and undercut your prices, I always say there's another saying, buy cheap, buy twice. You're gonna have to fire that VA and hire another VA more expensive because they are gonna be more efficient than you are. So raising your prices. As I talked about before, it's okay to outgrow your old prices. So as I said, every 6 months you should review your pricing structures and you should say, is this in line with me as my brand? Is this where I'm going to? Can I see this working in the next year? So reasons to typically raise your rate is because you've developed new skills. So say if you've done courses, you've researched a lot more, you've self-taught, it's justifiable to raise your prices because you've developed a new skill and you can charge for that skill. If you have increased demand, so say if you're suddenly having an influx of clients and you're just like, actually, I need to increase my prices because what I'm doing is really like undervalued and it actually needs to be increased. If you're implementing better systems, so as Amber was saying, she uses Trello and Asana. So if you're implementing better systems that's going to provide better service and better work, that is also justifiable for you to raise your rates as well, and sustainability. But not everyone is meant to come with you. And what I mean by that is that, so when you first start off as a VA, I had this kind of thing in my head where I was like, oh, you feel really grateful for your first clients, and you're like, you have kind of an emotional attachment to them because they've been with you throughout that journey and they've kind of said, they've been with you from the start. So when you're going through that kind of cycle where you're like, I actually need to raise my rates, it's okay if the clients that started out with you don't come with you as you grow, because that's just what business is about, and that's okay. And it just means that you're going to be aligned for better clients that want to pay what you're worth and what you're offering, if that makes sense. So, rejection is not failure. So, what I mean by this is that if you're thinking about raising your prices and you get rejected by a lot of potential clients, or you're outreaching to clients and they're saying, actually, no, your prices are way too expensive, I can get another VA for cheaper, that's absolutely fine. That's not failure. In business, you have to fail to become successful. And a lot of I refer to them as the top 1% people. So a lot of the people that are like millionaires, billionaires, they fail more than they win because those failures turn into wins in the longevity. So you have to get comfortable with rejection. You have to get comfortable with loss because it will shape you into winning, into getting clients, into being successful, because you know what it's like to be in that position. So if you're getting that rejection, that's fine, because one person, say if you reach out to 50 businesses, I guarantee you one person out of that 50 will most likely on board with you. If not, they will reach out to you again in the future because you've set an impression with them off the bat. So please don't take it as failure, because it is not. Like, honestly, it's not. So confidence is built by backing yourself. So as I said earlier, when you set your prices, have confidence in that, back yourself, because as I said, it's about knowing your worth. So say for example, if you're going to charge £50 an hour, back yourself by charging £50 an hour. When you're having like a discovery call with a client and they're saying, why should I hire you over Joe down the road who's a VA but she charges cheaper? Have that confidence behind yourself and back yourself, because that's what's going to get you the clients, because they're going to invest in you because of you believe in yourself and you believe in the services you can provide. Like, you have to have confidence. But as I said, it doesn't come like that. It comes with time, experience, with the rejections, with the wins, with all of these things. It's not just like an overnight thing. So I don't want you guys to think I'm instilling this, oh, you're going to have confidence by tomorrow. Like, no, that's not how it works. I wish it was, but it wasn't. So the final takeaway I would say is, with pricing, it's okay to reevaluate. It's okay to reassess your pricing. Prices aren't set, packages aren't set, rates aren't set. They're always changing. And if they're not changing, personally, I think it's a red flag, because that's just how businesses work and that's how businesses grow. And having confidence is knowing your worth. You have to know your worth, and that will come with time. It will, like it did with me. And just because you don't have experience, it doesn't mean that you're set to fail at the start. Like, no, the whole point is that you will gain experience throughout time. But as long as you know your worth, then you can back yourself through selling yourself to clients, and then that will allow you to gain that experience. So I hope that has been really valuable. And please, if you have any questions, as I said, if you want me to go through my like how I structure my packages, or feel free to reach out to me on socials. Yeah, and I'm happy to help anyone at all. But thank you everyone so much for listening.